Our little stop button.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, folks, let's see. Here we go. Thanks for all the help, everyone. Now, we're going to create a new design here. And I'm going to focus on the flower that we did the last day. So when you open up Fusion 360, make sure you click on the little origin box over here. We're going to sketch on this plane. Here we go. And now sometimes it should orientate itself into a like top view, but it hasn't there. So what I'll do is click on the top and we'll just focus on drawing the flower that we did the last day. So there's all of these different drawing tools up here. I'm going to create a fit point spline, not even worrying about dimensions right now. So to create a curve, I click once, click twice, and I drag out the shape of a petal. Okay. Now what I could do is I could start manipulating that should I wish. There are little toggle bars here. You can move around different points. However, right now the main thing I need to do is flip this over and get symmetry on both sides. I don't know about you, but I like to work smarter, not harder. And in this case, what I want to do is mirror this object over the mirror line. So it's just here. I'm going to flip it over, and now I have a flower petal. So from here, I can create a little pattern for myself. So I go down to circular pattern. That's in the create menu. Circular pattern. I'm going to click on this object, this object. To select two objects, you can hold down shift. With Fusion, I actually don't think you'll need to hold shift. It's an old habit. Center point is just here. And what I'm going to do is do as many flower petals as I like. Okay, so that's like the Mitsubishi symbol there. Let's see, go 7. Cool. And now we have a flower. So if I hit finish sketch and click on the home view, I now have something that I can extrude up into 3D. So let's see what's the easiest way. I'll try and do a selection box. That works pretty good. And if I extrude this, it has selected everything. So I can extrude this up maybe 5 millimeters. That's fine for now. And we're okay. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go into my sketches and I'm going to turn the sketch on again. So you can turn things on and off in Fusion just so you can see what's happening. And I'm going to turn off the body for a second. So I've created a body from a sketch. I'm going to turn off the bodies. And I'm actually going to lift up the inside of the flower here to create 2 levels. Magic. So it's quite smart with the selection. Extrude. And this time I'm going to go up 10. Last time I went up 5 for the outside. This time I'm going to go up 10. I have to turn on my old object. And Fusion right now thinks I want, see how it's gone red? I'll just zoom out so you can see what's happening. Fusion wants to cut this out. So you can just change this from a cut to a join. And now it's going to create a solid object on the top. Okay, for example. See how it's hard to see what's going on with the sketch in the background? I can just toggle it off there. And now we have, let's go back. Now we have a nice little flower that we can 3D print. To turn this into a key tag, for example, what I can do here is create another sketch. Ooh, I can create another sketch, but it's actually more efficient to modify the old one, okay? You can create a new sketch, or you can go into your sketch over here. You can right click and you can edit that sketch, which is perfect. It just goes back onto the same sketch and edits it. We're just going to create a center diameter circle just on here. And we're just going to create a little hole for the key ring. That's a 6 millimeter hole there. So the last thing I need to do, if I zoom in, is I want to extrude up this hole so it'll cut out of the body, and that'll make sense in a moment. So a shortcut right now is if I hit E on my keyboard, it'll go out of the sketch environment and I look at an angle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this up. Now, I think what's happened here is because we have, oh yeah, in hindsight, guys, creating a new sketch there would have been better because we had gone back in our history and gone back to the very start. It's created a little cylinder here. That's totally okay. We can work around it. We need to be adaptable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Modify, Combine, and that little cylinder there, I'm going to use it to cut a hole out of this object over here. Okay, now I've created my hole. I'll turn off my sketch so we can see what's happening. If I hit A on the keyboard, that's the appearance box or the dialog box. So once you go into the appearance, I usually just go straight to paint to get some bright colors. And we can think about the color profile of our logo, and we can think about pulling in some colors here. So I'll go into paint, glossy, and what I'll do right now is I'll click on a surface and I'll drag the blue onto that surface there, and let's see. Now I could hold down shift and select all of these all the way around here, but that's a bit boring and I don't want to do that, so I'll hit escape. What I'll do is with the appearance mode, I'll drag.
What is glossy?
Glossy is shiny. And so what I've done is put in green on everything, and then just on this top surface I'll put in a little bit of blue. So now we have something something we could use as a key tag. Now, for example, what we could do here as well is if we wanted to turn this into a candle holder, we're talking about making a candle holder, what I'd be suggesting is to turn it into an interesting candle holder. And year 11s and 12s, do you mind if I focus on this candle holder? I know you're not making the same thing, but all of the tools I'm showing you are relevant to your design as well, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another version of this, but rather than it being flat like something that's been laser cut almost, I'm going to turn it into more of a organic flower shape. So it's going to be curvier, okay? So what I'll do is I'll just create a new design here. File, new design, music lesson, all good. Now, so next job. You can just leave it on the table. We'll grab it in a minute. Catch you later, Tina. Now, so we're doing a sketch on here in the top view, and let's see. There's a few different ways we can attack this. So I want to start strong. Let's see. So I have a design in my head that I would like to create right now. Now this is getting a little bit complicated, but let's see how we go. So I'm going to create a little orb here. I'm in the form modeling section. Okay. And I'm going to start modifying this orb. Let's see if I've bitten off more than we can chew in 10 minutes. So what I'm trying to do is kind of to create a petal shape. Okay, and then what I can do is I can create a circular pattern from this shape. Okay. What I just did there is I created a line of symmetry down the middle here, and what that allows me to do is whatever I manipulate on one side, it will manipulate on the other side. Now I find this pretty cool part of Fusion. So let's see what you think of it. I am going to right click and edit form, and now I'm going to start manipulating my shape. Okay. Look around at different angles, see what's happening. Okay, this will take a little bit of tweaking here. Okay, I'm going to call that my petal for now. So you can see it's more of 3D shape rather than the flat shape that we have back here. So at this stage now, what I'm going to try and do is hopefully I can create a circular pattern from this form that I've just created. Let's see. Create pattern, circular pattern. So the axis I'm choosing in here, it's hard to see, but I'm choosing the Z axis just to rotate around this point. It's looking a little bit strange there, so let's see how we go. Okay, so what I have here is a bit of a little bit like flower. It's okay. It's a bit of a starfish, but this is something we're going to turn into a candle holder now. Now, obviously, this is not going to sit well on a table because it's round on the bottom. But what I can do here really quickly is I can create a sketch on this plane. I'm going to draw a rectangle down here, and I'm just going to chop off the bottom of this so it'll sit flat. So I've just drawn a little sketch and hit return. When I click on here, if I hit E on the keyboard, it extrudes. So I hit extrude. Now looking from an angle to see what's happening. And I'm actually going to extrude on two sides. And this is very satisfying here. It's just going to chop off. Rather than selecting two sides, if you go symmetric, it's better. It just saves you dragging out both sides in this case. So that's going to perform a cut. And now I have something that's close to a candle holder, but we need to put our tea candle in the middle. Now, at this stage, what we want to do is find out the size of the tea candle for the candle holder that we're doing. I think it may be 50 mil. I'm going to take a punt on 50 mil right now. So what I want to do, and I'm showing you a few advanced tips here, guys. So let's see. I need to create a sketch above my object, okay, up in the sky. So what I'm going to do is turn off my object. Come in. Hi there. Okay. Yeah, sure. There's one here. All good. So we're going to construct an offset plane. And basically this is just like a piece of paper that's going to hover up above the top of our body. Beautiful. It just allows me to sketch a little bit more easily. Now, so let's have a look. Home view. I'm going to sketch on this new plane that I've just created. So create a sketch, sketch here, look down from the top. And don't worry if you're finding this a little bit confusing. I've gone a little bit advanced on this. So my apologies if you're struggling with it a little bit. 50. Now we can see here that we've designed a shape without thinking about the overall size that we want. We can scale it down in a moment. But if this is going to be our tea candle, 50 millimeters, could be 40 mil, I'm not sure, we'll see. Quick Google would answer. 38, nice. I remember we used to use a 38 millimeter drill bit in woodwork to drill out the right size hole. Brilliant, 38. Nice. Okay, so that's the size of our tea candle. So you can see my body is way too big, and that's okay because we can scale it down now. Click on my body. I'm going to finish that sketch. I'll go back to it later. On my body, I'm going to modify. I'm going to scale that body. Unfortunately, scaling in Fusion, I don't really like it too much, to be honest. It doesn't allow you to scale something to an exact size, but we'll live with it. So I can use a scale factor. If I wanted half size, I go 0.5. I'll go down to about 0.7. That looks decent to me. Cool. And now the last step, because we're tight on time, I'm just going to zoom in on here. And I'm going to use this little disc that I've drawn to create my cut. So I'll hit E on the keyboard for extrude, drag this down, and Fusion has figured out, okay, we think you want to cut this hole out. If we're wrong, you can change the option down here and you could turn it into a join. But we don't want that, we want it to be a cut. And what is the height, Ashley? I reckon it's probably 12 mil. 15. Very accurate here. Do you know what I'm going to do, Ashley? I'm just going to go down 10 mil because it can be sticking out. So we just need enough so that the candle is sitting in there and won't fall out. So I've gone down 10 millimeters. And let's see how we're looking. And there we go. You can see the whole... Oh, I didn't go down 10. So check that out. I've made a mistake there. But the good thing is, in Fusion, you've got a little history down the bottom, a little timeline. So you can right click down there and edit feature, and I can just drag it down a bit further. Magic. Okay, and now we have a Breed tea candle holder promotional item.